All right, so we are on page 72, and this is a brand new unit, solving right triangles. Word 75 is solving right triangles. We're going to solve right triangles 4 different ways. Pythagorean theorem, that's what we're going to do right now. That's when you have two sides, so you have two side lengths. The second one will be special right triangles. There are special type of right triangles, and there's a shortcut for those. Third one will be trigonometry, and then number 4 is inverse trigonometry. So that's a brand new unit, and those will be the 4 ways of solving right triangles. All right, 76 is the Pythagorean theorem. Ignore this because that was for 6th period. So the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And our steps are what's on here. First, we label the c. C is across from 90 degrees. That's called the hypotenuse side. And how I know it's 90 is sometimes I won't see the number 90, a lot of times it won't, but what you will see is a box, and that's how you know it's the hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse we label C. C is in cat. You have to label that one first because it's the hypotenuse. It's different than the other sides. There are 3 sides. One's the hypotenuse and the other 2 are legs. The legs we label A and B, and those could be interchangeable because it doesn't matter which one's A or B as long as you have C labeled. And then our third step is to use the formula. That means that we replace the letters for the numbers. So we've got letters here, A, B, C. We're going to place those letters for numbers, the numbers that are the side lengths. We're not talking about angles. Angles are inside. We're talking about side lengths, the ones on the side, outside the triangle. And once we do that, we're either going to add or subtract to solve. So let's look at an example. So here we have got the whole thing solved right here. We label C. Here's my box. The one across from the box is C. The other 2, it doesn't matter, A and B. I could have made this one B, but someone in class chose to make it A. That doesn't matter. As long as C is labeled, A and B are legs, so they don't really matter. Then we're going to put it in our formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And so my A is 10. So instead of writing A, I write the number. That's for A, which is 10. B is 16, so I write 16. I don't know what C is. I can add 10 squared plus 16 squared. So for this problem, I'm going to add. And I'm going to add this in the calculator. That doesn't mean 10 times 2 or 10 double. That's 10 squared, meaning 10 times 10. And I'm going to show you how to do that on your calculator. So what I've done is I've added the link to the calculator on your Google Classroom. If you go to classwork, it's its own tab. It'll say Decimals Calculator. So you'll click on that and you'll be able to use the calculator. If you're really careful, you can use your one on the phone, like your calculator app, but it doesn't always come out correctly and you have to know how to do it correctly. So I highly recommend using Decimals, and I've already linked it for you. So again, I'm typing in 10 squared. I'm trying to show you, but I'm typing in 10 squared plus 16 squared. Okay, remember that's 10 times 10 plus 16 times 16, not 10 times 2. All right, so 10 squared plus 16 squared. There's a squared button. I get 356. So then I write that down. But then the last step is to take the square root, not divide, but to take the square root of it. That square root button is right under the square. So I press enter and I type in 356. I get 18.86. So because the 6, I'm going to round up to 9. So it's going to be 8.9. So that's my C. In this problem, I added versus subtracting because I can add these 2 numbers. When you can't add a number and a letter, that's when you have to subtract. And then my last step was to take the square root. Okay, here's a second example. We're going to label the C first. The one across from the box is C. We have a number this time. That could be A, that could be B. Someone chose for this to be A, so the 10 is A. All right. Then I'm going to put this in my formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. My A is 10. My B I don't know. And my C is 26. So I cannot add this number and this letter. I just can't. So because you can't add those, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to subtract. Okay, when you have the c, you're going to have to subtract. So it'd be minus 10 squared to both sides. This is not 26 minus 10 is 16. This is 26 times 26 minus 10 times 10. So when I do that, put that in a calculator. Let me show you. I mean, the answer's there, but I want to show you how to put in the calculator. It'll be 26 squared minus 10 squared, and I get 576. Remember that my last step is to take the square root. So I'm going to do that on the calculator. The button for square root is right here, 576, oops, and I get 24. So my B is equal to 24. This one I had to subtract because I had the C. The other one, because I can't add those two numbers, that's when I subtract. When I can add the two numbers and I add them and then take the square root. So that's all for page 72. This is Pythagorean Theorem. See you next time. No, I did not mean to do that.